All right, so I think this is a recording. Let's do an analysis of my 23-something swimming and see how fast it was. Let's see something. So this is a video I uploaded. I uploaded it, and let's see exactly what it was. The reason I wanted to record it is precisely because you can see the camera here, or you could see the timer here. Not very well, but it's good enough. This is just a digital timer. It's just every second it goes, so, but the point is you can't, it's not a touchpad. It's not not a time start, but let's try to figure out what it was, because if we remember this is my fourth 50 freestyle with paddles on, okay? And I remember when I hit, I saw 23, which is like, whoa, that's pretty good. That's what I used to do many years ago in a race. So now it is paddles, it's a little faster, whatever. Let's see what it was. I sort of know because I have the timestamps here, but let's just record it for posterity here, because there are some issues with when I started, when I left. So let's go back over here, and let's go here. So I'm talking to people. So let's see. I'm leaving on the 5th. The 59 is at 11 here if we're using the scroll thing. Hold on. Right. Well, no one needs to see that. The cursor over here, I don't know if my mouse is going to come through, but we see a cursor here. Right over here. Let me select it. That thing. That is what we need to see. We can't see the red cursor. You can see the red cursor here. So, okay, good. No one needs to see that. It doesn't matter. So my notes say I started the 59. The 59 was exactly, let's go back here. Okay, so we see it switching from 58 to 59 if you look really closely. And I know it's blurry, but it doesn't matter. There's a change there. Okay. And the change is basically 11 seconds, 0.022. Now, this is shot in 60 frames a second. It doesn't matter. If you were to put it actually on 0.0, that would actually still be at 59 seconds, because again, it's right. You know the thing. But whatever, it's fine. It's first of all, they don't even measure these things to the thousandth in swimming, so it won't even matter. And really, with this, let's measure it to the tenths, whatever. But that's what we're starting with. So we're on 59. All right, now let's go. See, look at that. It's now 0.033. Now this is the thing: is so it's at 39.59 there. When it hits 40.00, when is it that you're supposed to leave? When you see it, do you kind of go in, or do you get ready and then push off? Okay, we'll see that now. It might be, kind of an earlier start, kind of whatever, but we'll figure this out. So let's see me thrusting my butt up in the, that's actually a pretty good photo. It's kind of funny. We'll see that. So I'm kind of crouching down. I'm kind of getting up now. We're still at 59. And the great thing is that the switch over from 58 to 59 is basically exactly at 11 seconds according to the cursor here. So it's really lined up. You don't have to do the tenths or anything like that. It's actually pretty good. Now, I'm rising out of the water anticipating this thing going to 0. We are almost half a second in. We are now basically half a second in, and I'm already rising up. Does that count, as an earlier start? I don't know. We'll have to check. Now, I have not pushed off yet. I'm just getting ready to, right. Now, so the butt shot is right here exactly. Okay, right here is where it changes over. It changes over at basically 12 here, right? Cursor 11.990, 12, right, is exactly when it changes. Okay. It changes right before 12 seconds, right? At the cursor right over here. Exactly right there. And you can see it changing from 59 to, so this is exactly right? It's right before 12 on the cursor thing right here. Okay, right here. So is that an early start? Because if you think about it, I am sort of, you know, in the pool, but I'm not pushing off just yet, right? Oh boy. So you can still see you can still see my butt 0.2 of a second in, and then now it's all gone. So that's when I push off. But again, this is right where it changes. So is that a bit early? Where does it count? I can only start to even crouch down and try to get up when I see the 0. I don't know, because that's exactly here at right. So we're at exactly 11. And then I know that it's going to change over, right? So I'm rising out of, does that count as an early start, that I'm just rising out of the pool? Okay. Because I'm kind of like, that's also how I do these, right? Is I kind of anticipate that I'm going to kick off on the 0. But, you know, I start a little, right. So I'm already rising here, 0.6 of a second in, basically, right? I'm already flying, but my legs, my foot is still on the wall. I have not pushed off per se, right? Okay, and now we hit 0 right here as I'm already in, but I've not pushed off yet. I still haven't pushed off yet. I start pushing off because my butt is basically, okay, that's probably, you 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You can see my butt moving, and it's still, that's the perfect shot. It's look at these nice round things. The water's still not around them. It's beautiful. It's 2 little islands here. Look at that. But you can see the movement here, right? I'm fairly certain I'm kind of pushing off here. That's a big movement there. Okay. And that's 1/4 of a second in from the actual 0 on the clock. Okay. So when does that count, right? Because you can see me already going, right. You can see that. So it depends on when we start this, exactly. Because I'm kind of crouching up there, anticipating that I'm going to push off on the 0. And that's kind of what happens, you know? The 0 is basically at 12. Right here is 0, right before the cursor position is at 12. And that's when I go in the water, right? Right. Now, it's a dive. It's, who knows, right? This is also not with a dive. It's also not with competition. I don't think it's that much of an early start, to be quite honest. You know, I don't think it's that early of a start. Because where else could we have a start, right? Is what counts as a start? Is me rising? So I kind of go down low, right? I'm still, hold on, let's go backwards here. This is where it hits 59. Right, so I go down. I spring down. Now I'm rising. That's the first sort of rise there at basically 0.3 of a second. Does that count that I'm kind of rising? Is that? Now, some people also, instead of this was also a weird kind of start because you're not actually supposed to get your whole body out of the water. That is, a lot of people kind of go almost sideways, so they're more streamlined in instead of just flopping on top there. Yeah, that was not the best. But see, this is not a good start in terms of being streamlined, right? So, I don't know. I don't think this is a bad start because, again, this is right as we're hitting the water up here. All right. Anyways, maybe that's half a second there. Right. Because, again, I'm still fully in the water here. I'm just barely rising here with half a second to go. 0.6, half a second. And that's not a great start, right? That splashiness is not helping me. So, okay, maybe it's a little early, but then it's not a very streamlined start. Anyways, I guess we don't have the answer. So we spent how many minutes here? Let me see. We spent We spent 10 minutes. My goodness. We spent 10 minutes analyzing whether this is a good start or not. It might be a little early, but the shittiness of the pushing it in there, that's not that great. It's not very streamlined, right? So we don't have the answer, but we took 10 minutes to not come up with an answer. Anyways, the next interesting thing is to anticipate when I hit the wall. So let's go to about 34. In fact, let's just hit that in here. 34,000. Okay, because the clock is now at 22. Okay. I did about a 23 something. Now, what is it exactly? We don't know. We're finding out. So you can see on the, well, actually my video is covering up, but you're going to be able to see some splashiness over here, right in the corner here. You can see, oh, you can see it. Oh, in fact, I probably should, yeah, let's make that. You can see the splashiness already here. So we're at 34.67, and again, minus 11, because we started at 11, exactly, right? So we're very close here. You can see, yeah, you can easily see me here. Now, where exactly I touch, that's a matter of whatever, but let's see where it turns to 23. What frame is that? It's like, this is like pouring over the Zapruder film, the Kennedy assassination, right? Okay, you can easily see me. You can see my head there. Furious Turbulence, good name for a band, and it is the reality of what we're seeing. So there we go. My arm is probably, I guess, over here. I think my arm is already kind of, I think I'm just going to kind of lean in. I don't think I'm going to take another stroke, but we'll see. Okay, the clock is still on 22:40:22, the red clock by the slide. The audience is seeing me finish. That's also good. And it just, okay, so it is base 34.990. So basically on 35. So right before 35 is when the clock changes. You already see a 23 here. So I did not hit a 23 something regardless of what we consider that start. I did not hit that. Right? Well, I think, and I hope the mouse cursor is being recorded. I don't know if it is. I should have checked, but because I'm wearing these big paddles, you'd think you'd be able to see it. You can't even see I'm wearing paddles, right? But let's see here. I think this is my arm. This is my head, obviously. This is my arm. This is probably the paddle over here, but it's not very clear. Okay. So this is the last frame for 22, and then right before the cursor is at 35, we switch over to 23. So it's a 23 something. So that's probably right. And oh, the start was okay. Well, we'll spend another 20 minutes dissecting that, but let's dissect where I hit. Because I wrote it down. I did this a while back. It's maybe 0.2 of another second here. Part of it is that is most likely the paddle right here, Okay. I'm very close to it. Next time, I'm going to have to take the camera a little bit closer to the edge so you can see it, because it's the angles, and there's also a lip to the pool so the water doesn't flow over, so it's also kind of obscuring where exactly it is. But it's very close. It's maybe 1/10 of a second from hitting it, which we don't fully see, right? So there's also still movement. Right, so you can sort of see my tan arm, and then that is the paddle right here. So the paddle hits sometime in the next 1/10 of a second, maybe. Because I'm not looking at the paddle, I'm looking at when does my arm stop? When does it look like I've hit the wall and it's just the rest of my body kind of coming in, right? Again, hard to see because this is just an S10, right? It's not some high production camera. Right? You can still see movement, right? You can still see the arm moving. It's in a nice solid line. It's not like I've hit and then I'm stopped mostly, but the rest of my body's still coming in. It looks like it's still moving. So I have not hit the wall yet right here. Now, this is where I think I hit the wall. Either here or here, because you can start to see that my arm is no longer moving forward. It's the rest of my body kind of whiplashing in, right? That is still movement, and that's probably where I hit. Right? So let's call, it's hard to, yeah, you can see my head clearly there. Yeah, you can see my other arm trying to, yeah, you can see that definitely. And let's see where it turns to 24 before. So yeah, I'm easily seeing a 23 here. It was a very early 23. That's when it hits 24. Oh, you can even see oh, look at that. You can see the transition from the 3 to the 4, actually. The top of the 3 is still in this frame. It almost looks like a 29, right? Look at that. That's interesting. Yeah, you can see the top of the 3. Yeah, we caught it. Yeah, it looks like a 29 because of the, look at that. Brilliant. And that's at almost 36, which is where it should be. Or 30, yeah, that's exactly right. So 36, all right, minus 11, okay. Okay, right, the 59 is at the 11, the 0 is at 12. Okay, so minus 12, right. Okay, perfect. Yes, this is exactly what it should be. So this is the last 23, and then the question is, how early did we hit it? Yeah, I mean, look, when my head's rising out of the water, that's because you don't swim that way, right? When does my head start to, right? So this is 22. So we agreed 22 is not it. We did not hit when the clock was 22. We were too far away. Okay, that's probably the best view we have of my hand and paddles right over here. And we can see there's still a foot or two to hit. Not yet. Okay, that might be it. That might be it. So 35 on the cursor, 0.2. Let's say this is where I hit. Yeah, because this is, the paddle is still probably sore. We'll have to do it another time and get a more accurate thing, but it could be I hit here. It could be I hit here. Maybe. No, there's not much movement anymore with the hands. It's almost like it's here and then the rest of the body catches up. There's maybe a little bit of movement here, but here to there, I don't see it. So I'm going to call it 35 and a quarter. 35.25. Now, 35 to 5 something. You subtract the 12 where we started on the 40.00 was at 11.92. That's basically minus 12. That is a 23.25. Sorry, that's just what it is. Now, even if we say, okay, that start sort of was a little early, and okay, but it was also a sucky push in because I was like above the water, I don't know, diving in or something. That did not make me faster. So I think that cancels out. Even if we say, all right, that's maybe a quarter second too fast, that still is a 23. And again, just to reiterate, now, there are paddles on, but there's no dive, there's not a meet, there's no competition. Paddles are going to make you a little faster if you do it right. Okay, fine. But again, 20-something years ago, my best times were 23-something. I don't remember, and I definitely don't have any camera footage from that. But it was 23-something. I never hit 22s. So even though there's a slight advantage with paddles, in practice, without competition, without a meet, I can basically hit that? Really? I like that. You know? I like that. I really do. That's very inspiring. So I don't know what else to say. I think that's about it. Yeah, you know, from my notes, I did this a few days ago. I should have done it at the time. I thought it'd be faster since I've already done it, but apparently we're 20 minutes in, and it wasn't any. I thought this would be a 3-4 minute video. We're not going to watch the rest of this. That's 2 videos ago. I just wanted to know what's a credible time to say here, given the weird start at around right here. So again, that's the first 59 at 11.0 something. And again, we can just look at the tenths. That's also probably a little easier. So 11.0, you know, depending on how okay, 11.0. And I start, so I go down, right? I'm anticipating springing down so I can spring up, right? That's not a start though, right? Plus it's not even a, right? You might say, okay, that's the first rise here. But I'm not pushing, you know? And the other thing is, if I had to do it, if I said, all right, you have to go on the 0, 0 there, okay, on the top, because it used to be the old analog clocks. It was just like a normal clock, right? So there's no top, I guess, but, you know, on the 60. And I guess there's also no 60 because the 59 turns to 0. Whatever. It's yeah, let's just say on the top because that's what I'm familiar with. Back before digital technology existed, I guess. But okay, it's right at the top here. If you told me you can only start moving on the top, I would not do a start like this. I would not do a hold back start where I'm anticipating pushing off on the 60. So it'd also be, I don't know. We'll have to do another video on that and spend 30 minutes analyzing that as well. But again, I'm consciously trying to only kick off when, right. And even as I'm falling in the water, I'm not kicking yet, right? My butt is, I'm lowering myself in the pool. You see that? I'm not kicking. I'm positioning myself in a good place in the water so I can kick off right at that. Well, again, we'll do some more videos. This is kind of fun. This is kind of fun because it's one thing doing it, and then it's another thing looking at it and saying, okay, that's a bit of a weird start. Maybe it's a little early, but I'm not doing myself any favors diving on top of the water like that. That is not faster. That is not faster. Okay? That making that much resistance is not making me faster. That's not helping me. And it's only then that I push off, as we can see. When you can see my butt, that's basically what I'm pushing. As you can see my butt. Even then, I'm just kind of gyrating my butt to be in a different position. I'm not kicking off just yet. It's definitely here somewhere, right? Okay, you can see my feet. I'm already off, though. Okay. So, we'll see. I'm confident to say this is 23-something, which is what the title was. So in 25 minutes, we've resolved nothing. It was 23-something, but definitely 23-something. 23, what exactly? We'll never know. And this was perhaps a total waste of time. But it's definitely a 23-something. It's a definite possibility that this was a 23-something. So that's it.